the rich and the poor, God made them all. The rich and the poor, the Lord is the maker of them all, not the maker of them so. He made them all. He didn't make them so. He made the rich, he made the poor, but he didn't make the poor poor. The poor became poor by decisions he made. The rich became rich. Galatians chapter 2 verse 2, he says, I went up by revelation and I communicated the gospel, he said, to the Gentiles, and privately to men of reputation. I will offend your mind now because I'll say something. Privately, I preached the gospel to the Gentiles, but when I saw men of reputation, I ministered to them privately. Jesus passed through Jericho. Blind Bartimaeus called him. He passed through the same Jericho. He called Zacchaeus. Yes, you don't like this gospel, but it's true. Hate poverty. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. The Bible says that the Spirit of God is upon me. Luke 4:18. He has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. How can you preach to the poor when you are poor? Hate it. Hate it. One big problem with the church is that we think that scarcity is purity. We think scarcity is chastity. We think you are pure when you are poor. Hate it. Hate it. Reject it. There are 3 levels or 3 kinds or 4 kinds of poverty. There is poverty by inheritance. Father poor, mother poor, uncle poor, auntie poor, nephew poor, nieces poor, a generation, a municipality of the poor. There are people that are so poor that poor people call them poor. So poor. Hate it. Some years ago, somewhat, a young man has been walking out of church to the glory of God. The young man came and knelt down and said, I want to be your son. I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a pastor. I said, no. Pastors are terrible to father. You father a businessman, you father a politician, but pastor, he knows what you know. Sometimes you talk to him, he already knows what you want to say. So it takes a person who totally is yielding and submissive to be mentored. So when he says the pastor, I said, no. And the Lord said, accept him. I said, okay, come. Give me your hand. I prayed with him. When I was done praying with him, I was working. He said, I do not have money to go back to my station. I said, excuse me, is this mentorship or sponsorship? He said, I need money. I gave him. I was going, he said, sir, one more thing. They said there is a pastor's conference. There's a conference coming up. I said, yes. He said, that means we'll come, we'll register, we'll book the hotel. I don't have money for that one. Give me. The Lord said, give him. I told myself, now I'm in trouble. I gave him. I left. When the conference began, I was outside. I saw people coming out from their vehicles. I spotted him. You know, you always recognize people who ask you for money. No, you know them. You know them. So I spotted him. I turned and I was talking to people. And I felt somebody touch me from behind. Now, I was worried how the protocol allowed him. You know what he did? He was coming from behind like that. And the protocol were coming close and he told them, sounding so familiar. He said, who are you? I'm his son. And the clowns that call themselves protocol, all of them stepped back. And the guy came and touched me. I said, oh. He said, Papa, I know you saw me and you turned. I said, welcome. So you can go for the conference. He said, the truth is, I need money. I gave him. I was ministering the conference and I told the pastors, get some materials, get books. I spotted him buying books for people, just buying books. I was on the pulpit. I said, he would call, they say, come. Take. I have money, take. He was buying books. I said, what? My money? So I just kept quiet. I was watching him. I was angry, very angry. Allow people buy with their money. No, he was helping them, buying books for them. I said, good. Come and meet me after the service. While I was done, I led the people to pray. The power of God had invaded and people were praying. I sneaked. I was entering my car. I saw him. I said, why are you here? Money. I said, see, let me. The Lord said, shh, give him. I knew I was in trouble. We had a program and I ministered on the mystery of the firstborn, the errors of Reuben. I had already told my PA, I said, this is money. You know that boy? When he comes, give him. I don't want to see him. But at the end of the service, my PA brought the money back to me. He said, I didn't see him. I said, there's trouble. I never knew as the word was going on, he broke down in tears. He went back. He didn't ask for money. I had to call him. How did you go back? He was quiet. He said, I'm not at my station. I went to a mountain to pray. He said, everything you preached my life. I'm the firstborn. Poverty in the lineage. And he said quite a lot. And began to pray. Because normally, this guy would send me SMS. It got to a point when I see his call, he said, Daddy, good morning, sir. I will reply, how much? Because I know what he wanted. But this time around, I saw his call about a week after that program. He was calling me back to back. I didn't pick up the phone because I was saying, this guy wants money again. He sent a message. He said, Dad, pick up your phone. My level has changed. I said, okay. Something. So I called him. I said, yes. What is it? He said, I gave a prophecy to someone on the island of Lagos. Lagos has mainlands and islands. He said, I gave a prophecy to somebody in Lagos about the fruit of the womb. And we were barren for about 12 years. The woman took in, the baby just came. And the husband called me to name the baby. I did. And they gave me 4 checks. What was in the check was so heavy, they split it into 4 leaves. He says, I waited, the accounts are heavy. And he thought it was 200 million naira in our currency. That's about $500,000. About $500,000. Thereabout. And he said, my story has changed. And I said, my son. I always knew you were going to be a great guy. Why are you laughing at me? I invested in that life. I sold in his life. And he said, Dad, can you send me your account details? I said, right away. He said, I've got some serious tithes to pay. I said, right away. And he paid the tithe. He said, anytime you are in Lagos, just let me know so I can just say hello to you. I began to go to Lagos more regularly. I began to pass through Lagos more. And I said, I'm passing through. Don't worry, I'm just letting you know. He said, I'm coming. I said, do you have to bother? Don't bother. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we are like them that dream. There was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. The Lord has done great things for them. What off? They are glad. Somebody say, I reject poverty.
I reject poverty.
Poverty by inheritance. 2 Kings chapter 4. A man was so poor that he used his 2 sons as collateral. He said, bank, I need a loan. He said, what do you have? He said, take my son. Number 2, there is poverty by association. Even if you think rich and you hang around people that think poor, you may soon start thinking stinking thinking. Hear me? I'm sorry, I'm going to say something that don't sound nice. I'm telling you. How many of you know God is not nice? No, God is not nice. No, God is not nice. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Why? What kind of nice man is that? You are righteous, he allows you to go through affliction? No, God is not nice. God is kind. Niceness is when a person tries to act good for others to see. Niceness is trying to create an impression. When you say a person is nice, you are saying this person is acting friendly. The disposition to me is friendly. When you are nice, you are not yourself. You are trying to please people. Somebody walks in and you say, no, you stand up, oh, sit on my seat. That's not you. Am I saying something? You say, oh, no, sit on my seat. That's not you. It's raining. Say, oh, take the umbrella, I'll go in the rain. You are nice. That's not you. That's being nice. There are people that God sees in your life and he will never favor you. Pastor, there are certain members, until they leave a church, it will not grow. They must go for you to grow. Until they walk out of a church. In Genesis 26:24, God said to Isaac, I will bless you for Abraham your father's sake. Abraham your father's sake. Genesis 39:5, and God blessed the Egyptian for Joseph's sake. Genesis 30, if you read verse 27, he said, Laban said, I have learned by experience that God has blessed me because of you. Another translation says, I have learned by divining the oracle that God has blessed me because of you. Proverbs 13 verse 20. He that walketh with the wise shall be wise, but a companion of fools. Proverbs 28:19. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of silver, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. Jonah was in the belly of the fish, a whale. God sent him to Nineveh. He went to Tarshish. God's agenda was Nineveh. Satan said, go to Tarshish. If you avoid God's way, you end up in God's whale. He met people in the ship. Everybody we meet in life, we meet them in the ship. Relationship, friendship, partnership, housemanship, courtship. We meet them there. So there are people that must be out. When some people walk out of your life, please, I beg of you, let them go. When some people walk out of your system, let them go. You begin to discover you never needed them in the first place. They were just mere utility, nuisance value. There are people that walk out of your life, let them go. Don't weep over Saul. The Bible said, God said to Samuel, don't weep over Saul. I have created myself a king. Don't weep over Saul. God has a better plan. Let Lot go. Let Lot go. The wrong people in your life, I push them out. I push them out. Poverty by inheritance. Number 2, poverty by. Number 3, poverty by stupidity. There are people that are stupid. Waste. You have no land. You have 4 jeeps. You are a monumental fool of incalculable proportion. No land. You have cars. Who did this to you? When money comes on your hand, you have money in your hand. Don't create an impression, create a future. Bishop, I used one car for 4 years. The pastors in our ministry gathered. Say, sir, even if this car, you have a covenant with it, it must go. We break the covenant. We had massive buildings. We have massive properties. We have businesses. I had just that jeep. I was okay. What is it? A cessation of movement from one location to another location. So long it could carry me to where I was going, I was fine. It's priority. Your priority determines your prosperity. Your priority determines what are you doing with 20 gold necklaces. Are you a dog? The iPhone came out. You got iPhone 10. It was still functioning. iPhone 11 came. You drop iPhone 10. You got iPhone 11. It was still working. You drop iPhone 11. Got iPhone 12. It's still working. iPhone 13. Now you are thinking of, oh, I'm waiting for iPhone 14. What happened to the other phones? You only get a new phone when the old phone is bad and when it's beyond repair. Don't do things. You cannot catch up with the Western world. You can't. Can I surprise you? The Apple company iPhone 20 is already in the waiting. And now if you know, when you get a new phone, when the new iPhone comes out, the previous one stopped working well. You start developing faults. It's deliberate so you can come for the other one. You don't know. Africans, I've met wealthy men. I've met wealthy men. They live simple. The first time I met the man who's turned to be the richest man in Africa, I was looking at his handset. I was angry. I said, it's him. I look at his phone. Just one. And it was not a beautiful phone. You have no money. You have 3 phones. And you are broke. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't. You have no money and you have a Brazilian hair. $1,000. A Brazilian hair on South African head. You go there, you bought an Indian weave on, Russia weave on, and now they are fighting. So just imagine what's happening in your head. No wonder you are hitting your head, hitting your head. Plan your life. God will give you money, but God will not plan that money for you. Plan your life. There are so many of you hearing the sound of my voice. God has blessed you. Money has passed through your hand, but you cannot account for anything. You can't account because you wasted it. You lived a good life. 1 month, London, vacation. 2 months, vacation. That's the kind of life you want to live? Plan your life. Poverty by stupidity. There are so many people God has blessed, but they are living life to impress. You are not born to impress, you are born to express. You are not born to impress nobody. People don't really care about you. People don't really care about you. Number 3.